Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here. And in today's video, I am joined by none other than Andrew Mo. Over on his channel, he talks a lot about the stock market and about AMC, GME, and a couple of others. And I brought him on the channel today to talk about Elon Musk. And we're going to talk a little bit about price action, both in his domain over in the stock market and over here in my domain here in the crypto world. Andrew, how are you doing? And you've got to tell my channel a little bit, even before we get into the meat and potatoes today, about Meatball, the dog behind you.
Meat and potato. That's Meatball, no potatoes. This is Professor Meatball. He is a doctorate graduate from the University of Cornell. And as data scientists here in Silicon Valley, the two of us go and talk about the data, financial freedom, passive income on our channel. And I'm excited to bring some of that over to yours. Thanks for having me.
Good deal. Well, good deal, man. So what I want to talk about right now is I want to talk a little bit about something that we discussed in the first part of this video that we did over on your channel. For everyone from my channel, you will find a link to that in the description box down below. We talked a little bit about Elon Musk, his impact on the stock market, but now I want to talk a little bit about his impact on Bitcoin. Andrew, from your perspective over in stocks and in your domain, what is Elon Musk and his ravings and rantings over on Twitter been doing to your industry, if anything? What does that look like from your perspective?
Papa Elon has given the meme stocks a couple of boosts in the past, right? So this is historically something that we were, banking on. We need one singular whale to battle a very long battle against hedgies. So we have the short whales, hedge funds, people that want to take the system that the founding fathers that have since 1987 given us crashes every single time directly related to the hedge funds, manipulating different parts of the economic system. This time around, this episode is brought to you by naked short selling. So this is something very akin to the dangerous rehypothecation methods that hedge funds were working with back in 2008, except this is far worse. So I've interviewed entire congressmen, advisors to the White House, just groups of people that have sway over what goes on in terms of the financial and fiduciary responsibility that Congress has to us. As it turns out, they need to help us make sure that baddies cannot get away with this. So that's currently what we're trying to allow people to learn more about over on the channel.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, look, I think it's so great that you bring that up, because something I want to bring to everyone's attention is the impact that a name like Elon Musk, or the impact that an institution like Congress or the Securities and Exchange Commission, or even the hedgies, as you're talking about, have over markets. I don't think a lot of people realize just how much manipulation can go on behind the scenes. Now, there's two different ways that people can impact the market, I'll say. It's either by not intentionally manipulating the market, but by doing something that has an impact on the price. Or there's the more nefarious method, which is intentionally manipulating the market to cause the price to do something for their own gain. Those are the two ways that I see people having impact on the market. Now, if a big person comes out, or let's say Apple comes out and they bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, right? Or 100,000 shares of Berkshire Hathaway or something like that. That's going to move the price action of that commodity or of that asset class. There's nothing wrong with that. People do business, right? The thing I'm really interested in, and something I want to hear your take on, because this is something I talk about quite a bit on my channel, but I'd love to hear your opinion on it. What is your view of manipulation? What do you think the boundaries of that are? How do we define that? How do we make sure we're not going on a witch hunt over people, but we're also making sure that we're holding people that are intentionally manipulating the markets accountable for what they're doing? And also, most importantly, how do we keep ourselves safe from that?
I love that you asked me to provide the data. Here's the little notebook I got from the Galapagos. This is where I keep a lot of the data that we track on the show. Shout out to Austin Tobit and the Super Stunk community for helping me prepare for an interview I'm about to have this week with Charles Payne, because exactly how to get this info out in like 3-ish minutes is what I've been practicing. Let's talk about a historical context, right? Chartered Communications. This was a company that had 36 million shares outstanding in January of 2005. At the same time, it had 88 million short, right? That was the short interest in January 2005. Do the simple math, 240% short with the intention to bankrupt, right? Shorting is in itself a price discovery tool to find out where the fraudulent stocks might be. But in this case, in 2009, the company eventually did go bankrupt. And that was with the intention of causing exactly the means to the end of bankrupting a company. Right. So you are expecting your 401k to be full of hedge funds or financial like governors that give you money when companies do well. Right. Well, currently, What the world economy is currently banking on is investment in uninvesting. They are banking that the US Treasury bonds will fail, that the US government will not be able to pay back their bonds. They're also paying forward the idea that each time the price discovery of a stock starts to reveal the true price of either AMC or GME, or even the true prices of these cryptos, you put enough negative pressure on it, and $1 million can leverage $1 billion like that. It's about follow the leader. And right now, the leaders are the people who call themselves smart money. You just call them insider trading money, because they know exactly how to cause the market to react, and they use that information illegally.
Yeah, no, that's something that we see all the time in cryptocurrency, is that there are people that will intentionally help to push out a news article, or they'll intentionally make an announcement, or they'll intentionally release a tweet. You know, there are laws against that. It's called manipulation, and it is a felony depending on how badly you do it. That doesn't stop people from doing it. And I think it's our job as investors, because I can't control what Elon Musk posts on Twitter, and I can't control what impact he has on the market. Unfortunately, I would like to be able to. I can't do that. And probably thank God I can't, because that wouldn't be right of me. But what I can do is I can control how I'm going to respond to that. And something I want to hear your take on, that so that our audience can learn from you, is how do we go about learning about what is going on in the space, and then utilizing that information to make sure that we are not only safe, but also profitable investors and traders? What tips do you have for our viewers on how they can best use information like that once they have actually received it?
After you go to grad school, you start to learn that you really don't know too much, because the main skill that you learn is how to get a good feel of whether or not a reputable source has been read. You go out and you see mainstream media push a stock, or rag on a stock and say, what is their incentive in actually causing this to happen, right? You have to look through their pages of sponsorships, look through pages of who are they endowed to, who makes their paychecks happen, right? That's painful. And at the end of the day, that's what they're banking on, is that it's too painful of a journey for you to actually discover why they caused this price article to come out. They have, and by they, mainstream media, right? It doesn't matter what political affiliation. It doesn't matter like if they show 24/7 news. It's about keeping a certain level of ratings up, but sponsors happy. It's this balance here, right? When you look at a source, you can use free tools like Webull. I have a description link in every video that gives you access to a tool that you can see news on every stock specifically catered for a specific stock. And oftentimes that's going to come with whatever is the top hit, mainstream media. And how can you see through it? Well, ask yourself, is this trying to incite fear? Is this trying to incite uncertainty? Or is this trying to incite doubt? Because those three are the enemy of these diamond hands. You can find proof, hard proof in one direction, especially if it's against your stock. That's not FUD. That is proof, and that's data. But if the article in question is just trying to ask you some questions without giving you the answers, or giving you hard data to support those questions, then that is FUD.
Yeah, I think I think a really important distinction to make here, even kind of foundationally, is that every single time the price doesn't do what you want it to do does not mean it was insider trader and manipulation. That being said, sometimes it is. And it's our job as traders to use the information that we have at our hands to make sure that we, one, can distinguish the two, and two, can make the best of whatever situation is presented to us. Because, of course, we can't control the market, but we can control our actions. Here's what I want our viewers to take away from what you just said, because I think that was fantastic. Whenever you are hearing anyone's opinion, including mine, and including Andrew's, and including Meatball's, you got to be thinking about what their motives are. Are there motives with your best intentions? And here's the way you can start. First of all, this is not something that is, this is something that takes time to cultivate. This is a talent. Understanding what other people's motivations are is not something that I can just, boom, there you go. Now you got it. It's something that comes with experience. But like you just said, you got to think about, what are they trying to get you to feel? It is not necessarily the job of the media to inform you. It is the job of the media to make money by giving you something that you want. We as human beings are very, very interested in what makes us emotional. And generally speaking, we're very interested in what makes us triggered and upset and pissed off. That seems to be what gets us going, right? That's Facebook in a nutshell, and Instagram and TikTok nowadays. That's what the internet is turned into. So the mainstream media and all media understands that. So generally speaking, unless they have a very, very, very serious set of moral values that they're following, are probably going to try and lead you in a direction that's going to get you riled up, regardless of what that does to your portfolio. So the point I'm making here, and the point that I'm loving that Andrew is helping us make, is that you got to be thinking about What are they trying to make you feel? And then what can you do to make sure that you're combating those emotions so that you are safe in your trading? Andrew, I have a question for you, and I think we're going to wrap it out after this. I want to hear your take on this. What is one piece of advice, if you could only give one, that you could give to any trader / investor that you think would be beneficial for them?
Holy moly. Okay.
Put you on the spot.
I got it. I've got so many, but I'm going to distill it to the top one. Time in the market. That's how you make money. It's not timing the market. And this is what a lot of different like great thought leaders have come out with Warren Buffett. The market is supposed to give money from the impatient directly to the patient, right? That's why I hold much of my portfolio in stocks that I'm just not going to touch. And you can then use the rest to learn from the stock market. Make sure that you are constantly feeding that financial education part of your brain, because honestly, we just don't get enough of that. You're trying to get back a lot of years of proper personal finance, right? Stock trading, but crypto finance, right? It doesn't matter what and when you start, as long as you're constantly making yourself a lifelong learner.
I actually just told someone that yesterday, the whole timing the market, or time in the market beats timing the market. There's actually two reasons why that's true, by the way, for anyone watching. Number one, time in the market beating timing the market. Obviously, people that invest for the long term are naturally going to see, if they're in a broad index fund and probably not in just one stock that might go bankrupt, are generally going to see increased valuations of their portfolio over time. But the other point of that a lot of people don't think about is that time in the market beating timing the market. When you spend time in the market, you're going to learn more. And at the end of the day, the more you learn, the more profitable you will be in your trading and investing. So I love that answer. Andrew, it has been a pleasure to have you. Can you tell us where we can find your content and what we will find over on your channel, my friend?
Meatball's already trying to beat me to the punch, but what we'll find on the channel is more Professor Meatball, more opportunities to learn about how you can start with whatever amount of money you have and achieve financial freedom in a reasonable amount of time. That's the point of the channel, right? We have different sayings like 6 figures in 6 months. We have different sayings like data is king, perception is queen, different ways that you can start small and increase the different kinds of passive income sources that you have, but also being able to give you guys full bell-to-bell coverage. The only reason I'm not currently on my stream right now is that I'm talking to Jeb, but the bell-to-bell coverage of the AMC and GME saga, of when those gamma squeezes might occur, which today still seems like a fairly positive day for that. Quadruple witching day is this week, so we are constantly giving you guys the dates of when the important catalyst will arrive, information of how much the manipulative tactics are rising or falling, and finally, different ways for you to look at a dog yawn and spend our day with us. Thank you, Jeb, for having me.
Sounds good. Thank you for coming on, Andrew. It was a pleasure. God bless, man.
Thank you. God bless.
Peace.